Scheduled Planning Commission meeting on this August 4th, 2014. I'd like to start with a roll call.
Commissioner Cooper.
Present.
Commissioner Campbell. Commissioner Vadalos.
Here.
Chair Brown.
Here.
Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Niblin. Commissioner Evans.
Very well. Commissioner Vadalos, would you lead us in a salute to the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on administrative business is the approval of the order of the agenda for today.
I'll move that we approve the order of agenda.
Thank you. Commissioner Cooper?
I'll second the motion.
Great, thank you. And let's vote. That passes 4-0 in favor. Next, I'd like to see if we can move on to the approval of the minutes from the prior meeting dated July 21, 2014, and we'll hold approval of the minutes for the April 7th. We will get there. We will get them done until the end of this meeting when we have a quorum. Is there? Yes, Commissioner Vanderlos.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Cooper?
I'll second the motion.
All vote. And the minutes from July 21, 2014 meeting are approved, 4-0. Next, is there a designation of the liaison to the city council meeting?
There's no planning commission related business at the next council meeting, so there's no need for a formal liaison.
Great, thank you. We have no consent items this evening. We have one public hearing. It is CDP 33614. Coastal Development Permit CDP 336, oh, is that a typo? -13-14?
It is 1-3.
It is 1-3.
The application was filed in 2013, yeah.
Great. Filed by the applicant owner, Jeffrey Matheson, to construct approximately 400 square foot addition to an existing 3-story single-family residence of approximately 1,500 square feet at 111 Kent Road, APN 023-032-070. Recommended CEQA status exempt, proposed action approved as condition. Do we have a staff report?
Good evening, Commissioners. Before you tonight is a project consisting of an addition to an existing house to an existing 3-story single-family residence in Pedro Point. The existing dwelling is approximately 1,500 square feet of living area, and the proposed addition is 400 square feet. Also proposed is a porch at the entrance and a second-story deck. Approval of a coastal development permit is required for any project such as this one that is located in the appeal area of the coastal zone and is an increase in floor area of more than 10%. The proposed increase in floor area is 26%. Staff recommends approval of the project because the project is in scale and compatible with the neighborhood. In staff's opinion, the design of the project is appropriate for Pedro Point neighborhood. In addition, the project does satisfy all the development standards required for an addition to a single-family dwelling on the subject site. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions from my fellow commissioners? Commissioner Cooper.
I have a couple questions. One question I have is the fire sprinkler design said that they're not going to be putting fire sprinklers in the place, and it still says it's going to comply with the 2010 fire code. And I was curious if that falls underneath an exemption because of the square footage.
For the city of Pacifica, the exemption is 1,000 square feet in terms of the fire sprinklers, but that's a city of Pacifica code. I just want to point out that I did check. There is a comment from the fire person who reviewed the fire saying they weren't sure if there were sprinklers and they'll need to submit for further review. When this project was submitted, it was in 2013, so if any, at that time I submitted to the fire department, all the different departments, so if there's been any changes in the fire code or any other things that weren't addressed at that point, when it is submitted for building permit, if it's approved, they will review that and make sure it complies with whatever code is in place.
And then the next question I had as far as the structural calcs, are those coming in as well during the building permit process?
We normally don't get those for the conceptual planning permit review, but they will be asked for whatever is needed at the building permit stage. That is correct, they'll be submitted.
Very well. I'd like to invite the applicant to come up and speak about this project. In general, you have 10 minutes.
I'm Jeff Matheson.
Hi, Jeff.
I don't have, I guess, a lot to say about it. It's my wife and I bought this house in 2006, and you can see it's a pretty small house. It's about 1,100 square feet, 2 bedrooms, and since then we've had 2 children who are now living in a walk-in closet. It's a big walk-in closet, but so we're just looking to add a little space on the 3rd floor for one more bedroom, or put a bathroom up there. And also kind of maximize the view up there. In addition, we want to, the siding is all kind of a mess all around the house. It's a patchwork of shingles and T111, and so part of this is also to do all the siding in stucco and hardy plank. And I think the design of the house, of the remodel, is kind of consistent with the rest of the house. We really like, it was a mid-50s house, very kind of square and boxy, and which is a style that we really like, and we're kind of extending that with the current remodel. So I think the neighbors all seem to be pleased about it, because we're kind of the eyesore in the neighborhood right now.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Cooper.
First of all, I love the design. I think it's fantastic for the neighborhood, so I commend you on your architect. I do have a couple comments for you. These are mostly preferences. In your window to the shower for the upper level, if that was opaque, that might be nice. It's up to you on your view.
Yeah, it was planning on being opaque.
And then I noticed that you had a sliding door that in the back of the house, and there was a difference between the sliding door height and then the window height. Is that something you're going to replace, or is that something you're comfortable with?
Well, so I already bought the sliding glass door, and so I mean, I don't know if we can have if the threshold can be, I think it's about a 3-inch difference. I don't know if it's allowable for the threshold to be a little step up to get the top flush or not, but we already have the door.
Okay. The other comments I have is that I noticed I got a revised plan for a sheet A3.3, which shows a single window instead of a double window in that same room, and I was just concerned about the structural calcs, because you're taking out part of that wall, so that was of concern that I had. It's in, let me look at the elevation, it's the east elevation, where you have the door in the kitchen, and it's on that wall.
Oh, right. So part of that was, we haven't looked into that. I don't know if the architect put a note on the site plan about that or not, but once we tear off the trim and stuff, we'll see if, because if there's a what do you call it, a beam there, or a 4x4, then we wouldn't do that. We'd kind of replace it like it is. If it's structural, we don't know that yet.
The other concern I would have is that door that you've put into the kitchen. We had a similar facing wall, and I know that if it rains really hard, you might have a potential for leaking in that door, so make sure that you address that when you're building.
There's a small overhang on that side, but if the wind's coming out of the east, it gets hammered pretty hard.
And then I noticed that there was an old wood retaining wall on that side. Are you going to replace that or fix that? I'd be concerned about drilling those piers in there.
Yeah, now the piers are only out, I think, about 4 feet towards that way. We made the deck along that side only 6 feet. But yeah, that retaining wall does need to be replaced, and it's, in the last couple of years, it's gotten progressively worse.
I hate for it to undermine your porch foundation if it tends to fail, so. That's a concern. There's a downspout I see on the west elevation. It looks like it's for a bump out of your section, I was just curious of where that drains to. There's a gutter at the end of that area. It's on A34. And I was just curious if you had a downspout that took it all the way to the bottom or not.
That actually drains to the roof over the second level.
Oh, okay, so
That's and that roof is slightly pitched towards the east. And so there's actually two downspouts that go from the roof of the second level on, and that one actually kind of drains into the one further west.
So you're not spilling onto the porch or anything?
No, yeah, it comes down to there and then through the downspouts off the roof on the second level.
Okay. I would notice that you're putting venting in for your lower stairs bathroom as well?
Yes.
As you're up to the...
Yeah.
Let me check. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, no more questions from commissioners, and I see no one in the audience to speak on this. So, thank you very much. And Jeff, and why don't we bring it back to the commission, and are we ready for a motion on this? Oh, Commissioner Gordon.
I am ready to make a motion, depending on if there's any other commissioners who have something to say. Otherwise, I am ready to make a motion. I'll move that the Planning Commission find that the project...
There's a little red light here. Commissioner Campbell.
I was going to second that.
Yeah, do the
Okay,
first
well,
one.
why don't we finish the motion before we go to the second? So please, Commissioner Gordon, sorry to interrupt you on that one.
Motion interruptus.
Yes, one more pass at it,
Okay,
please.
I'll move that the Planning Commission find that the project is exempt from CEQA, an approved coastal development permit CDP-336-13 by adopting the attached resolution for the proposed addition to a single-family dwelling at 111 Kent Avenue, including conditions of approval in Exhibit A, and incorporate all maps and testimony into the record by reference.
Commissioner Campbell.
I think I'll second that.
Hey, let's take it to a vote. And that passes 5-0. Now, I've always read this entire thing, and I've read it at the wrong time, so if I make that mistake again, please correct me. Anyone aggrieved by the action of the Planning Commission has 10 calendar days to appeal the decision in writing to the City Council. If any of the above actions are challenged in court, issues which may be raised are limited to those raised at the public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. That's that. There are no other agenda items. Now is the time for Commissioner Communications. Does anyone have anything they want to say?
Mr. Chairman, I thought this might be the appropriate time, since we now have a quorum for the April 7th, 2014
Great.
meeting, to approve those minutes.
Do it, finally. We still need to approve the April 7th, 2014 minutes, and we now have a quorum. I see a motion. Commissioner Cooper.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the April 7th minutes as described.
I'll second that.
Okay, we're ready for a vote. And that passes 4-0 with Commissioner... Well, I think we're off one.
We're off, yeah.
But someone abstained. Was that you, Commissioner Gordon? Yes.
Must have been because he wasn't at that meeting.
Yes, I abstained.
Did we do it, finally?
Did it? Did it?
4 months. Just under 4 months. Awesome. Okay. Next, let's get back to, so thank you, everyone, for wrapping that piece of administrivia up. Any commissioner communications?
Did we approve the meeting minutes for last?
We did.
We did? Okay, I thought we approved the agenda.
We did July 21 on its own, so we could get it done.
Awesome.
I see no lights from any of my fellow commissioners. Staff communications.
Nothing additional at this time.
Oral communications, this portion of the agenda is available to the public to address the planning commission on any issue within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda. The time allowed for any speaker will be 3 minutes. Seeing no speakers, I believe we are ready to adjourn. Commissioner Vaterlos,
Motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Cooper,
Second the motion.
take that to a vote. Adjournment passes 5-0. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.